session. Check us out. Generation. Slow jams. Conversation. Late night. Stimulation. Call in. Love session. Love session. Monday night.
Good evening. U-Nation Radio family, Monday Night Love Sessions. It's your girl, Akila Trinae, and you are tuned in to Love Sessions on MorrisMediaLive.com. If you haven't noticed, authentic fan. Yes, go Warriors. Congratulations, 2017 NBA champs. Yes, what you know about it. Oakland, stand up. I'm excited. Got my flag on my car. But anyway, you didn't come here for that, but I just had to let you know at the top of the show. We'll come back to that later if we get to it. You're tuned into Love Sessions. Love Sessions is intellectual stimulation from 10 p.m. to midnight. Our conversation is devoted to bridging the conversation gap between men and women as a means to combat the war on relationships. We cover the topics that are often overlooked, unmentioned, and outright taboo to shed light on our insecurities and idiosyncrasies as a way to humanize the love experience. Our conversation is real. It's refreshing, it's relevant, and you are guaranteed to walk away with a show with a greater insight of yourself and the others around you. At the end of the day, we all echo the same sentiment. I need love. So, class is now in session.
Wow. I wish I was as smooth as you, man.
Right, I try. I've been saying it for I can't
wait till I
how
just
many
get my
years
mojo.
now. I'm just happy, to be here. I really am happy, excited about the win. But again, we'll come back to that.
She's going to keep coming
We
back
have
to
an
that.
awesome show planned for you. It is going to be tweaked just a little bit. As you can see, it's just the ladies right now. But we will be joined a little later by Detroit. Charles is in the building. He's just in the background right now. You may see him throughout the show. It just depends on how he feels. But we have the awesome Dr. Siri, who will be joining us actually by phone, not actually live in the studio, to speak with us about his new show, The Therapist, that you can find on Viceland on Monday nights at 10:30 p.m. So it's not on now, but we don't want you to stop watching us to go tune in, but you can DVR that, or you can watch us again later on YouTube. But I'm going to let Destiny let you know about our sponsors and how you can connect with us on social media.
Well, hi. Now that she's done bragging about the Warriors, finally. Thank you.
No, not finally. Oh, okay.
I hope so.
I thought you were trying to talk mess about my Warriors.
And let's go into the sponsors. So, we want to give definitely a special thanks to our sponsors, Revision Publishing, as well as Dear Azuri, which means beauty in Swahili language, which is a movement to encourage women to properly heal from internalized pain and practice healthy communication. You guys can follow them on Instagram at Dear Azuri, Facebook at Dear Azuri, or on Tangi's personal page, Tangi Love Yourself Terry. As well as, guys, don't forget to check out our social medias. Our Instagram is at U-Nation Radio, and then like our Facebook page at U-Nation Radio as well. And don't forget to check out our Twitter as well at U-Nation_radio. And since the lovely Detroit isn't here to give you guys the phone number, you guys can definitely join the conversation tonight at 323-293-3375.
And just so you know, I was talking about it last week. The event, it is a sip and shop event that I will be selling my book at. It's Saturday, June 24th, so it's not this Saturday, but it is coming soon from 1 p.m. to 6 p.m. It is an event about an uplifting, positive event about women in business. So love for you to come out, support me, as well as supporting other women who are entrepreneurs in their own right. we're coming to that special time where we want to kind of jump into it. We want to make sure that we give honor and accolade to our special guest who we do have on the line. I'm going to tell you a little bit about him first, and then we're going to cut to a quick little video premiere, the promotional video for the therapist. Dr. Siri is a licensed marriage family therapist who received his BA in psychology from Carleton College in Northfield, Minnesota. His MA in clinical psychology from Antioch University and PhD in depth psychology from Pacifica Graduate Institute in Carpinteria, California. His dissertation was the phenomenological study of African American men raised without their biological fathers. Dr. Siri has taught in the graduate psychology department at National University, Antioch University, and Pacifica Graduate Institute. He also studied 20 years with Yogi Bhajan, the master of Kundalini Yoga, and subsequently became the first director of teacher training to certify individuals to teach yoga in the 80s. In the world of film, he received national status in the ABC Television Mentorship Grant for his graduate studies research documentary on Ghana, Africa. Dr. Siri is incomparable as he combines his vast spiritual knowledge with a scholarly understanding of clinical theory and treatment. He is truly one of a kind. He is making history and changing lives and helping people on Viceland's The Therapist, which airs every Monday night from 10:30 p.m. We have him on the line, but first we want to just go quick clip of the video, and then we're going to chat with him briefly.
So I know you have just recently been through a very trying time. We're going to create a safe space for you to puke that stuff out.
I haven't really spoken about this stuff yet. I was falsely accused of a sexual assault.
And it'd be nice if I was drinking a bottle of Absolute and just crying my heart out.
Anger could be a beautiful thing, man. It can be prettier than a rose. Like when you angry as fuck, you invincible.
Now close your eyes. Inhale deep. Just feel that pulse until you feel oneness. Hold the breath. Let it go.
I didn't even want to come to this shit, honestly, but I'm glad I did.
It's hard for you to love right now. This anger, this shame, are you just going to carry it?
What do you do with it?
Let's go there.
Awesome, Dr. Siri. Thank you so much for joining us on the line. How are you this evening?
Oh, I'm doing well. Thank you.
Thank
Yes,
you for taking out the time. I know that you have a very busy schedule. I know that your show is going to be airing soon, so we don't want to prolong your time too much, but I did want to start out with you just kind of sharing with us how your experience has been on Viceland's The Therapist, working with those various rappers. If you can just tell us maybe just a little bit of how that experience has been, and what would you say has been your most memorable or groundbreaking session that you've had thus far?
Well, each one is so different. It's just like you're working with a piece of art. Each person is a piece of art and another piece of the divine. So neither one is comparable to the other. I have to take each individual as who they are. So they're presenting different issues, different concerns. They've had a different life experience, and I got to tune into that. So I don't think anyone is better than the other. Each one is so different.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. And you know what? Your voice is like so soothing. It's like
in itself. Right? No matter what he says.
How just even, being in your presence and just hearing your voice is just calming in itself. It makes you kind of comfortable.
Wow. Thank you. Yes.
One of the things that I know, especially for the African American community, is going to therapy. Going to therapy is pretty taboo, or we don't really talk about those things or condone those things. What would you say has contributed to the stigma, I guess, about going to therapy?
It was very interesting. There was an article, I really should have kept it. It was saying that of all of the fields of graduate studies, African Americans go into psychology the least. And so we as a culture really don't believe in the field of psychology because most psychologists have been Caucasian.
Right.
And black men don't trust doctors, period. That's low
Right.
white
Because
doctors.
they're not going to the doctor.
Very true.
You know, and African American women would prefer that, you know, women work on themselves, but, you know, they would prefer someone of their own ethnicity. And I think the fact that they're seeing a black man, I'm getting black men coming into therapy now by themselves. They usually come with their ladies. You know, the women say,
Right.
"We don't go to therapy. You know it's going to be," you know, they'll come.
Right.
But the men are coming down by themselves. It's really very humbling, and it's a new phenomenon coming about because they see these other black men very comfortable in the session there on television, and it's so interesting. I ran groups years ago with domestic violence perpetrators, and there were all ethnicities there, but I remember starting one of the groups out saying, you know, well, look, man, you know, I don't want to. We got to be here for 2 hours, and I don't want to be bored, and I know you don't want to be bored. So let's make this a tribe of men. I said, you know, as men, we don't really tell our women everything. We don't. We really don't get comfortable enough with each other. We just drink a beer, or, you know, look at the football game, but we don't really get intimate and deep with our male friends. I said, so when we have a problem, who do we tell? And
Right.
of course, there was silence in the room. They said, of course, no one. So I said, let's make this a tribe of men to where we can just feel safe and just talk about whatever is going on with us. And those men just started talking and saying things, and they actually started looking forward to it.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's awesome. I know Destiny has a question because your dissertation was specifically about African American men
Yes.
who were not raised with their biological fathers.
Yes.
And so Destiny...
So basically, my question was, did you find that it may have been more detrimental if, say, the father was in the life in the beginning and then they left, or if altogether they just weren't there? Like, was there any major difference in that, or?
Well, a lot of things I found, but one thing the research is, it's better to have an absentee father than it is to have a father in the home that is rejecting.
Wow.
And what I also found is that if that man was not around, the father was not around, these men, even though they may have had anger or disgust, they still, at the base, wanted that father around.
Right.
And it sometimes is hard for them to trust him again and to open up to him, but they really had the longing to have that father in their lives.
So do you feel like in your studies you focused more on the men because it affected them more than it did having, like, the girls not having the fathers in their lives?
Well, I think it really came from the fact that researchers research themselves. I didn't have my biological father in my life. I had a stepfather, but I didn't have my biological. So researchers research themselves. That's where it really came from, to discover something about myself and see what I was carrying.
Question.
Yeah.
Dr. Detroit here. How you doing?
Yeah.
So, I didn't have my biological father either.
Yeah.
And so, when did you find that it actually? When did you realize that it actually affected you not having? If it did, because you had a stepfather, I didn't. But when did you realize it actually affected you not having your biological father around?
Well, it's like, you wanted certain conversations, how to deal with women and, conversations like that, and you have one to guide you, and, of course, then you're sort of, use the word prey, you sort of then get groups of other boys who are trying to raise each other, and you set your own parameters of what it is to be a man, and, of course, that is, sexual conquest and being tough and hard, but yet you sort of, want that guidance of the elder, So I think I compensated for it a lot. I think I held things in and acted like I knew what I was doing, and when I really didn't, So I think I felt the absence, but I just not of the because I had a father and stuff. Even though I wasn't that close to him, the research is that one of the most conflictual relationships in a blended family is the son with the stepfather.
Now, I guess that was going to be my second question. Is if that I understand how not having the father at all is better, but even with that, and no matter how great that relationship is possible, can that ever truly be replaced, or can that ever be appeased?
Yes.
That yearning.
It's so interesting because another aspect is that if we go back to slavery time, we as black men never had the opportunity to be fathers. So we as black men are still learning what that is all about and how to do that, because our children could be taken away from us at slavery. We couldn't be there with them. We had, and that has come down through the ages, that black men now are just learning how to be father. Do you father your child like the women, like the mothers? The mothers just naturally know. But,
right.
Because the child is embedded in the mother's womb, but the father is always disconnected from the child. So how does he do that? Parenting is something new for us as a people. Am I making any sense?
Yes, absolutely. And just switching gears a bit, because I know that our time is running short, but suicide kind of has become more popular in the sense of just social awareness, like the streaming on Facebook and films like 13 Reasons. And the question is, how do you help someone who is possibly suicidal, and what would you say are the signs?
Ooh, yeah. Well, it's scary when men, I don't think, some of the signs, it's like when men shut down. A man very shut down, because men are, are more successful with suicide, because they just, unfortunately, get that gun and do it. It's usually not coming back. But I find with the black man, there's that suicide by homicide, where it's like, oh, God, where they just, go and let the police shoot them, or, get out there and shoot each other, go for it like that. But, we have a lot of suicide. I think like drugs is a form of suicide, too, that it's a slow way of killing yourself. And, but
diet could be that way, too.
Yeah, but I mean, when men really shut down and they get non-communicative with family members.
Now, I think I'd have to actually be more specific, especially for the women, because I know a lot of them would say most men shut down often. That would be an atypical trait of us. So, when you say shut down, like in one specific department, is it something different than being an introvert naturally?
Yeah. Well, I think we as men are not socialized in the culture to really acknowledge and identify and express our feelings. So, and it's, and some are more closed than others, but it's hard to identify when a man really is at risk, because
we're naturally suppressed, right?
You were naturally suppressed, I think. And I think that's why it takes us, by surprise when someone does that. Although, white men are much more prone to kill themselves than black men are. They say a white man kills himself with his future in back of him, and a black man kills himself with his future in front of him.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, I guess because I know, again, our time is winding down. So if someone is considering maybe afraid to go to therapy, or they've heard, negative things about it, what would you say, or how would you encourage that person to actually take that jump and try it out?
Maybe we should tell them to watch the show. It's like, I think that is doing more than I think words could do, because, men fall in love with what they see, and women fall in love with what they hear. Mm-hmm. So I think if men are able to see the show and to see that these, rappers and musicians that they really respect are comfortable in there and getting something out of the therapeutic session, I think that'd be more prone to come. I think that's the best advertising right there.
Absolutely. I did watch the episode with Waka Flocka, and I thought it was really good. So much props and honor to you for what you're doing, and continue to do great work in that community and just at the community at large. And, everyone tune in to Vice Lance, the therapist, at 10:30 p.m. And it's an hour long, or it's 30 minutes?
It's 30 minutes.
30 minutes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Any last words you'd like to share with us?
Well, no, I just like to say I think a therapist is really intended to be a spiritual teacher in the West. So if you got a good therapist, you got a good guide.
Awesome.
Yes.
Awesome.
Yes.
Appreciate you, man.
Well, good. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much for calling in. Have a wonderful evening.
Okay, thank you very much. Good night.
Good night. Awesome.
That was dope.
So I know it was short and sweet, but again, the therapist airs at 10:30 p.m., which it is almost, so I'm not telling you to leave us. But if you want to set it on your DVR while you're watching us, or you can watch both at the same time, because one's on TV and we're on the internet, you do have the capability to do that for sure. So we're going to take a step back, like rewind back to the beginning. We have Donchelle Detroit, who joined us, and Charles is knocking things over, so right now you can't see us. I don't know how that happened.
That didn't go well.
Oh, the cord, I see. There we are. There we are. We're back. That was a real rewind, right?
Literally.
So, Donchelle Detroit has joined us in the building. You heard his voice earlier, speaking with Dr. Siri. But I was sharing before you walked in, and he tried to touch Draymond and move him out of the way.
That's Draymond.
If you can't see, he has his number one
Draymond
finger up.
there.
No,
I'm an Iggy fan. You
I'm
put
sorry.
Draymond over there.
Draymond is going to be right here where he is. You came in late, so he was really taking your spot. A couple of things I wanted to share beyond the Warriors winning. I wanted to say congratulations to all of those who are graduating, whether it's from preschool, if you're going from daycare to preschool, if you're going from your mama's house, to your own place, to your own house, baby, nice, to college, community college,
no bills,
graduate school, all of that. Congratulations to you. If you were promoted, if you graduated, if you earned a degree, if you're going back for a second degree, if you got your GED, if you got your high school diploma, kudos to you. Keep up the good work. It is hard work. Not everyone can and will receive that accolade. So I just wanted to say congratulations to you. Special shout out to my sister-in-law, Summer Washington, who graduated from El Camino. Kudos to you, and then all of the seniors who's graduated from Lloyd High School, of course, where
Shout
I
out to
teach.
K Hustle.
Yes. Who's that?
KG Hustle, the young kid that was rapping with G Herbo.
Oh yeah, he graduated too.
Yeah.
Brandon Davis, he didn't walk with us, so that's why I was like, oh, that's his rap name.
Yeah.
Brandon Davis, shout out to you. Yeah, and I was super duper proud of him, like just because he's gone through a lot, you know, and all of the students really, they've gone through so much, and you see the fruits of the labor when I'm working at the continuation school, because it's such a short amount of time, but they come in with their backs up against the wall. And to be able to see them walk the stage when everybody else is giving up on them, when people are calling them stupid, like, why are you going to this school? The high school diploma that they get is the same high school diploma that they would get from
any other high school.
Any other high school. It means the same thing. And I always tell them, I said, well, do you know Skyline High School? And they're like, no, where is that? I'm like, exactly. That's where I got my high school diploma. If it means nothing to you, Lloyd High School means nothing to the other person.
And realistically, I mean, I know when I was looking for jobs and stuff like that, and you look at the box, like high school diploma, it'd be like high school diploma / GED.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Where it's like,
yes or no.
Exactly.
It don't say where.
Exactly. It doesn't say where you got it. Where did you get
I was
this
like,
from?
dang, at one point I thought the GED was a little you know, the high school diploma was a little step above.
And let me tell you, a GED is, the only difference is you test out of it. The GED is all you're doing is taking a test.
Yeah.
I didn't know what it was until, you know, I started working in alternative education, where
ain't gotta struggle
then
all them
I
4
learned
years.
exactly.
Really? That's
where
what
I learned
that's
everything.
what you're telling me.
Or if someone is, you know, 18 and they got responsibilities, they got to take care of, you know, a child. I have a lot of students who ended up having children along the way. They still finish. You know, it's just giving someone another option.
And some test out of it to go ahead early.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
You got a special athlete who wants to go pro early. Take their GED.
It showed me. Because I was like you, Charles. I was like, geez,
yeah.
What's that?
That's what people
That's
get.
not what I got. I graduated.
Exactly.
My
and
son
so,
graduated today.
Well, congratulations.
Yo, did you see my comment? I was like, you don't even read your comments. No, because I seen your son, and for like literally, like I'm scrolling. For
You said you thought it was yours.
Yeah, for a split second, I was like, wait a second, I thought it was my son for a second.
And it was funny because then I thought back to your son, and I was like, I didn't see it. Like I was like,
I mean, the thing is,
like they built the same.
They're both little black kids. No, I'm joking.
All little black kids look the same.
He's not lying.
No, they don't. No, they don't. But honestly, it's just for whatever reason, you know, his smile or whatever the case is, it just I was just like, you know, as fast as I was scrolling, I was like, and then because I had to do a double take, because I'm like, how do you get a picture of my son on there?
Right. Well, I do want to say, since you guys brought up your sons, I know you have a daughter as well, but shout out to you both, because this Sunday is Father's Day.
Oh, yeah.
So happy
Father's Day.
To all the fathers. We know that it won't be crowded in the restaurants, and they're not going to be selling baskets on the corner. But just know that from Akila Trinae, we appreciate
Can I get Draymond Green over here?
All the ears. Oh, if you break my Draymond,
I was trying to hurt him over there.
Really broke him out. You know what I'm saying?
Take a chill pill.
I was trying to get him over there.
Well, Oakland is okay.
Let's just
Detroit has spoken.
Relax.
He pushed, that's so disrespectful. And he's from Michigan, where you be called trying to say you from Detroit.
Whoa. Fingers is almost in my
Shout out
mouth,
to Draymond Green, Saginaw, Michigan. He's still alive. He's strong. You know what I mean? People try to put him down, hold him down.
Oh my gosh, he's holding
but
it
guess
up,
what?
put it down.
He still made it
Charles
through,
needs the trophy.
despite
Give
all
Charles
the
the trophy.
odds, despite all the haters. You know what I mean?
KD pulled him through.
He pulled himself through because he is defense. And what wins games? Defense. What sells tickets? Offense. Here you go.
He got scores like everybody else did.
Shout out. You know, I'm going to just put
We're not even going to entertain Detroit.
Let's put this right here next to mine.
He knows nothing.
Great speech.
But yeah, shout out. Hey, Father's Day is coming, and I think it's a blessing. It's a shout out to the mothers who allowed us to be fathers, you know, and it is a blessing. I think that. Sorry, I miss, you know, Facebook Live has been my arch nemesis this whole entire thing, and I've been doing everything in my power to be live simultaneously on Facebook on our Love Sessions Facebook page, and once again I've been defeated this week by Facebook Live. It's just like I'm determined, and then one day it's gonna just gonna work.
The Lakers
I'm more determined. I would say I'm more
all Golden State fans.
I'm more determined like the Warriors when we just gonna at one point I'm gonna come in here with Durant and I'm gonna just change the whole game. But currently Facebook won this round. You know, Facebook. You know, I'll be getting so close. It's just. At some point, the technology is going to catch up, and it's going to be so super seamless. But it's super technical, and it's overly technical, and it's whack. But hopefully they fix it. But shout out to Father's Day. Shout out to all the fathers. Shout out to Detroit. You know, son, being a father, having kids is probably the biggest blessing that you can have in life. It's the most important thing in life. And I hope that fathers that are maybe having to take a step back, you know, ultimately kind of work their way back into their life, not just because they end up being, you know, a basketball player or football player. You know how that goes. But you know what I'm saying? But work their way back so they can be productive members in society. And, God bless.
Well, I did want to say, we did mention it a little bit with Dr. Siri on the phone. I was looking on, social media or the internet, and there was this question that was posed by one of the sites. It says, has live streaming turned us into digital bystanders? I did start watching a couple of the episodes from 13 Reasons Why. It actually is a very well-written series on Netflix. But I just kind of wanted to get, you know, you all's opinion on that. I feel like, you know, as far as the sharing of videos of people fighting in the streets, like if anything goes down, the first thing people do is pick up their phone, you know, to record. Even, I mean, I work at high school, so the kids, we know, another school will know in our district that there was a fight on campus because it's already on Facebook Live, it's on Snapchat, it's on Instagram.
I'd like to chime in. Anybody that knows me from back in the day that went to Skyline during the period I went there, which was a short, you know, it was like from my 10th grade to senior year. I got
classmates.
Well, no, he weren't. We went to
He was 01. I was 03.
Yeah.
He's a little older than I am.
Yeah.
Way to point that out.
Old as gold. Hey, old as gold.
Look, you lived to make it that old. So.
Yeah, so just to say, I got jumped one time. I got jumped. Ice Life was actually on the bus. He ain't help me. Shout out to him. But you know, honestly, it was a trip. The thing about getting jumped that I look back on, it was a trip because recently I even just look back on it. Honestly, I'll tell anybody, that fight could have been avoided in 20 million different ways. But because of my naivete and because of my, testosterone, I was like, I'm not moving. You need to move. You know, that type of thing. And then his homeboys is on the bus. And looking back, like I said, as an adult, my dad always tell me this, but now I use it for real. It's like, call me a punk, call me a skunt, but you can call me tomorrow. And that's how I see things, where it's like, look, I don't need to get into this thing, whatever. But I did get jumped. I held my own. I didn't get knocked out or any crazy thing like that, but I ended up with a black eye or whatever. But to say, I was leaking. You know what I'm saying? My eye, one of my eyes, I forget which one, but my eye was leaking.
I think it was the left one.
You weren't there. But one of my eyes was leaking. And just to say, like, if that same fight would have happened and 10 years later on that bus, excuse me, that's my Red Bull.
You'd be a meme right now.
I could be possibly a meme. Possibly, I would have been on World Star because people would have put up the phones and all that stuff. And at the very least, they might not caught the punch, which they probably would have, because by the time we was already arguing, people are already kind of geared up to be like, they know that fight is coming next.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So they probably would have caught the whole fight. And then I would have been, you know what I'm saying, I would have been all over the Facebook. And then, because really, after the fight, we all just like got suspended, took off like 5 days. And then really after those 5 days, my face held up. And then, you know, really those 5 days ended up being like 10 days almost, because, you know, you got the weekends in between, whatever. So all I say, I was healed up. I came back to school, and it was really like old news by then. You know what I'm saying? Like even a couple of people tried to bring it up, but because there was no pictures, because it was just like he said, she said, it really kind of started to just kind of die down. And just between the people that was like, it was between, but all that to say is that if it was now, it would have no way, shape, or form died down that way. And that would have escalated it, because now I would have had to retaliate. And I was saying all that, saying I'll let y'all take it from there. But the little boy, RIP, I don't even know his name, but he was 8 years old, and he took his life because he was being bullied at school. And I guess a video showed a bully knocking him out that got out to his classmates. And, you know, at 8 years old, he wasn't, I guess, you know, other things could be going on with him, but he wasn't able to psychologically deal with the fact that he was being made fun of. Probably videos are being shown of him being unconscious from being beat up. And the kids have and also the kids have no idea the torment, what he's going through internally, and how the bullying is tormenting him. And so now they're psychologically affected too, because they tormented this kid who ends up ultimately taking his life at a young age. And so that it's just a horrible thing. And the internet takes things, and social media takes things to another notch, because now more people are able to chime in and
and then they leave comments, and you know, the next thing you know, it's not even really about what really happened in the video, and then it just becomes people's opinion, and they start talking about, you know, things that don't even matter. They might start talking about people's hair, or they might talk about like their families and like all this type of stuff, and it's just, I don't know. I try not to watch, to be honest, videos like that. I'll see it come up on my feed.
I didn't watch the video, actually.
And I try to pass right through it, because honestly, you aren't any better. You know, you're just like that same person who ran to the fight and stood there and didn't offer any help. I used to break up fights in high school, so I'm definitely not about to be like, ooh, let me get this, and then send, you know what I mean? Send to everybody. But
so how are you feeling so far about 13 Reasons Why?
You know, I have mixed feelings. The reason why is,
could you explain what it is? Because
13,
I haven't seen it.
Oh, you haven't seen it? So
I've seen it all.
Oh, you've seen it all. Okay, so I'm not going to ruin it, but what it's about is there's a girl named Hannah who basically committed suicide, and what she does throughout the series is she explains why she took her life. She explains the whole sequence of events that happened, and what she does is she leaves a tape for each person that she believes had
played a part
in why she took her life. Now, I've watched I think up until so far episode 5.
Okay.
So I'm still early, but I kind of, because it was late, me and my husband were watching late last night, so I was like dozing on a bunch of parts. So I need to rewatch probably like episode 3, 4, and 5 to be honest, because I was like,
so you watched up to episode 2.
They watched her the rest,
right? But I was in and out, so I kind of know what was going on. Starting out, my initial thoughts are this, and I can probably share with you at a later date after watching it, but I was thinking that, okay, I'm not seeing why she took her life. It's not seeming that serious. Worthy, it seems pretty superficial, if you will. Because I work with high school kids, they can be real nasty, and I've heard and I've seen certain things that I haven't yet seen or heard
That would work. You feel like that's worse,
film.
Right?
That are worse. Definitely.
But tell me
worse.
this.
And now, what I'm not doing is saying that it has to be to a certain degree in order for a person to take their life, because everybody has their own threshold.
It's relative.
Right. Everybody has their own threshold. However, just as someone who is an outsider looking in, and also with that, inside track, if you will, with being around high school kids and knowing how they are, it almost reminds me of what you shared, Charles, when he came to speak to the students, and you referenced Childish Gambino, who was talking about how bullying, if you will, and I guess we would have to unpack a couple of things, but someone having something to say, whether it's a hater or whether it's negativity or any of that, from what I got from what you were sharing about the video he played, is that it helps to build character. It helps to build resistance. It helps to build tenacity and all the rest of those.
Everybody isn't gonna like your ideas,
right?
Like
and
what
so,
you're bringing to the table.
Everyone is not going to be a cheerleader in your corner, and sometimes you need some people who will come against you just so that you have that motivation and just the opposition, you know what I mean? Obstacles just of life, because life is not going to be pretty.
But you need
at
perspective
all.
for that.
Yes, you do, in a sense. But you learn that.
I would say you learn that as you grow. That's usually something hindsight teaches you, or when you go to search for where you found the strength to do something, you can reach back and run the parallel.
And it also deals with your experiences growing up. I feel like for Hannah, she didn't have a lot of traumatic and or difficult experiences growing up. Now, do they share what her life was like prior to high school? No. But they show her in the beginning in her happy stage where it seems as though she's experienced a lot of good times.
And it wasn't cultural.
She was a sophomore.
She was a sophomore in high school.
As far as being relative to most students. Most of us are raised in a tumultuous culture.
Is this like, all right, so it's like a white suburban kind of thing, or what is it?
Yeah.
Put it like this. I think everybody feels the same way for the most part.
Well, there's differences. I'm not saying it's not. I'm just wondering, just like, it's people deal with different things. Like, you go to the middle of the hood and somebody that's in white suburbia might be like, oh, I didn't get picked on the cheerleading squad, and then, you know what I'm saying? And you in the middle of the hood, and somebody like, my dad just overdosed on crack, and I don't know where I'm gonna live. And you get what I'm saying? In their minds, they're not like, oh shoot, I'm gonna jump off the top of the building. You get what I'm saying? You get what I'm saying?
It's the movie Ghost. You know what I'm saying? Where he's tripping off about the money he's losing, and he done went out and murdered a man. You know what I'm saying? Behind some money he was really trying to steal that he didn't know. You know what I'm saying? And I've heard conversations like that on the bus stop.
Did you say Ghost with Whoopi Goldberg?
You referenced Ghost. I'm like, bro, you
went way back. Okay.
But I've heard people like that.
Because I was really thinking about the story. Like, I've never thought about Ghost like that.
I was like,
the only thing I think about Ghost is, jumping in the body and Whoopi Goldberg.
But okay, so back to the topic, because I don't know where y'all went. I'm too young for that. But what I was going to say was, I think that it definitely did a good way of showing suicide awareness, of trying to recognize the signs, of trying to help someone with it. But I will say I definitely agree with Akilah in the sense that I was kind of like, that made you.
And I think everybody felt like that until the end.
Okay, and then we don't want to
No, I'm not going to that. But I think where everybody differs, I think everybody feels universally the same when they watch the movie. Okay. I think how the movie ends is what people pretty much argue with or look at up in the sky, but then you realize it's more about what she said. It's more so about bringing awareness to what's going on.
Which I felt.
Which actually, some people found that, because I didn't watch it for a long time because I thought it was going to be very depressing.
Me too.
And I wasn't sure how I wanted to take that because I was down, at certain times, and I didn't want to watch it and be like, dang, am I going to become suicidal? Nice. Because a lot of people there were some instances where there were some kids who took their lives after watching.
And they did they sent the notes, right? Then they sent notes because
I don't know how deep into
actual
it.
kids took.
Yes, after
but it had to do with the show.
It had to do with triggering certain things and then them wanting to emulate what
I would say that's the danger in doing it.
But there's so many other things. But there's so
feeling.
many things in the world, in life, that people see and that triggers that or that does that. Video games, shows, it doesn't.
Well, why would you think everybody wants to stream now their suicide? Why would you have to do that?
I mean, but how many other ways are you going to be able to bring awareness to it if you don't bring the situation to hand?
That was my point earlier about you don't know it until you go through it. You know what I'm saying? So when these kids see 13 Reasons Why and they already been feeling some type of way, now they just got something to connect and bond with, and they go ahead and jump off the cliff. You know what I'm saying?
Can I ask?
But how many other ways are you going to bring awareness to it?
But they don't. That's the reason they don't know. They don't know that that's what the movie is about. Dr. Siri you just talked about signs. How to recognize the signs. That's what 13 Reasons is about. It's
being able to know those, because the mom, from where I am, had no clue.
Yeah,
she was lost
completely.
She's lost where I am. No clue. She's like going crazy trying to figure out why. The other students had no clue what it's from where I am. Why she would go to that extent. And I've had not a personal student of mine, but in my teaching duration, a student at a school where I was teaching took his life. Shot himself in the head before school. Mom found him in a puddle of blood, when she's trying to get him ready for school. Well, he was upset about a relationship, about a girl. And a lot of the stories that I've heard just working with young people is that it's due to broken hearts and relationships and things that are,
women,
and in both ways.
Your point right there is going to really be like, oh my gosh, watch when you keep watching.
So for
just
me,
remember that point.
Like, I wonder, going back to the Childish Gambino reference towards bullying, because I think about, like, you grew up seeing people being bullied or fights and things like that. And then how do you, as a teacher or somebody in that position, when you see it might be a girl or a guy, have extreme acne or something, and people calling them pizza face or whatever, and it's like that person is gonna have to figure out a way to still function, right? But at the same time, they have acne that people are going to use that, unless they are able to find the inner strength to just not let that get them down. But have you seen instances where you're like, stop saying that to that person, or I mean, does that help? Because it's only so much you can do to help somebody, right? That's in that situation.
Okay, so there are a couple of things. One, I'm a different type of teacher, dean, whatever you want to put me in a category as. I'm extremely honest with kids. And if I see or hear them talking about another person, I make it my business to let them know about their flaws so that they can correct and focus what exactly it is that's going on. First of all, you don't need to talk about anybody. You need to get X, Y, and Z in order. Quickly diverts the conversation.
Oakland skyline stuff.
Well, no, it's perfect.
No, but I remind them.
Projecting on the other.
Yeah.
I remind them that you don't even have it together.
No, but that's
so
a good.
You get what I mean? So that's my initial approach.
But you can do that. But really, the kid that's being made fun of needs to be able to do that too. You get what I'm saying?
But up until a certain point, and the reason why I say that is because the person who's getting talked about, if it's acne, the person already knows that they have acne. You get what I'm saying? So they're already dealing with that on their own. It's like, I know that I have this flaw. The last thing I need you to do is point it out. We all know it's the elephant in the room. We all know it's here. You don't have to point it out because all you're doing is
making it worse.
Making it worse, but trying to highlight and add to something I'm already self-aware of and insecure about.
Along with possibly covering up your insecurity.
I also try to, build up that particular person. But they'll get theirs. You get what I'm saying? The person who's dealing with that insecurity. My concern is more of the person who feels the need to bring it out. And that's one of the ways to do it. You know what I mean? And then just encouraging the other person with those positive attributes that they do have. Making it known. I had a student who, he was insecure about his eyebrows, had these thick, what I thought and what some of the other adults in the room thought were like, look, if we had your thick eyebrows, we would be real happy about him. It was a male, but still, like, nice eyebrows, which he was insecure about. And it's like, are you kidding me?
He might like him later.
He will.
Right then and there.
When he grows into, he will, because, it gives him those dark features.
Yeah.
I had another student who was insecure about his ears, so he never wanted to take his hood and his hat off. So he's being defiant in class, not because he doesn't want to listen to the teacher, but he's trying to avoid
You can't have your hat and hood on?
No, not in certain classrooms, no.
Okay.
So he's trying to avoid his ears being shown.
Yeah.
Once he takes his hat off, it's like, are you kidding me? First of all, I would have never noticed your ears if you never pointed them out. Now you point them out. Yeah, I see that they're kind of big, but it's not as big of a deal as you think it is.
To them, it's the world.
To his defense, your ears and your nose never stop growing. Just so you know.
Well, you just hope that you.
No, I
just hope the ratio.
I know it's like. No, so I'm saying, 20 years later, he might want to put on that hat.
Wow.
Kids just don't have perspective. We try to recruit kids to come out. They'll recruit a kid to come out and then talk about him like a dog, and then wonder why they don't see him no more.
Oh, right. to play ball, right?
We have to tell them, like, you can't talk about these cats, and you need these cats. It's like the cats that used to talk about the linemen because they were fat, and then they'll get out there, and then when the linemen get hurt, and then we got to put in the smaller people that ain't as good, and they be mad, like, man, block somebody. I'm like, oh, you miss those fat people, don't you?
You need those big ones, huh?
Well, it goes back to what you're saying about perspective, because to me, there was times, and actually I remember this dude in Oakland, because going back to the naivete, I grew up and I was going to, is that a call? Oh, no, I didn't know. Sorry. Thought y'all was communicating. I didn't want to go into my diatribe.
But it's almost time for a break, but go ahead.
Okay, so just to say, I didn't have a lot of skills to combat certain bully, or there's a million different ways to combat somebody who's approaching you in a way that you're trying to come at me in a disrespectful way. And until I got to Oakland, because I grew up in Germany, I was a military brat. That was part of my story. So going back to that naivete where somebody's coming for you, right? And there's a million different ways to come for somebody. Like, oh, where'd you get those shoes from? Or, just little stuff that you can kind of already, your spider sense could kind of be like, okay, where's this going? And so for me, I had to develop certain skill sets to be able to just be like, all right, it's go time. Let's go. I got some jokes for you. I'm looking at your outfit. I'm looking at whatever, whatever you got. And I know, I'm going to hit one of these points on you, just like you trying to hit
for blood.
Yeah, just for
that's where that comes from.
Yeah,
huh?
Well,
got it.
We all got it. We all develop. What I'm saying? It's just like Jordan had to develop fadeaway. You know what I'm saying? It's like at some points in life, you kind of be like, all right, we all got things about us that. I don't care if it's the pretty girl in the room or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Everybody has something. And then, at the end of the day, at some points, the bully really only is going for that reaction. So they want that, they want to hit that pinpoint and they want to get you in your feelings. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And so, but if you ain't giving them that, and if you have the skill set to know how to combat that, then it's then they just move on to the next victim or person or whatever. And so that's something I had to develop and learn. And Oakland definitely gave me that whole game, because I was like, I went to the Skyline thinking I had a nice outfit on, like I always tell y'all. And, I came on a bus, and I mean within 10 seconds, I had.
It'll teach you how that gets.
I had 20 jokes coming at me. And I didn't even know nobody, but they knew I was fresh meat. I'm on a public bus. people, they don't give a damn.
Right.
You're a record break. Who is this?
Yeah, like it was like one of those. I'm like, so this is my first. This is my introduction. So this is okay. All right. Yeah.
You make it sound like that was the first step back into America.
That was basically it was. I'm over here, dog. I literally this is a fact. I came on the bus. I had a Jordan vest. Jordan vest.
When he explained it, I was I wish I was there with you. I was getting dressed. I would have told you.
I gotta go.
Not a good idea.
All right, I'm gonna just keep going.
I learned that in elementary school.
I had a Tommy Hilfiger button-up shirt.
He was confused.
I had some Jinko jeans. You know what I'm saying? And I
That's why
and some
everybody
K-Swiss.
like, where's he going with this?
I had some K-Swiss. Look, in Germany, that was a hot outfit. That was like was that joint.
Because out there it was all important.
You should have checked Google.
I just had my labels.
There was no Google then, girl.
Look, ain't no damn. Look, exactly. Look at this.
But she was like, "What?
Look,
No life without Google? What do you mean?
What is this life that? What is this Google? No Google.
We
you
had
speak
encyclopedias.
Either way, I'm pretty sure you should have known not to wear every single name brand person in one outfit. You thought it was doing it.
I definitely would have thought that was
that. At least had to be some type of rule somewhere.
No, look, like I said, y'all never walked in my shoes. You know what I'm saying? I was in Germany.
No, we don't know your struggles.
I was in Germany.
I know military brats.
Yeah.
My cousin was one of them. That ain't.
Well, we all different because we grew up in different. We're international.
So
like I said, in Germany, I was American and I was black, and I walked down the street
and they loved you.
And they were like, no, literally, they said, this is literal and this is a fact. Me and my brother walking down the street and they would say, Michael Jackson, Michael Jordan. They'd be like, oh my God, Michael Jackson, Michael Jordan. And I'm like, no, I'm not Michael Jackson, and I'm not Michael Jordan.
And they don't even look like
you know what I'm saying? But so look, anything I'm wearing, they think it is hot, right?
With that, we talking about digital bystanders. This is Digital Girl, Jamie Foxx. Poet is cue us up.
So I want to go.
Who's that peeking in my window? When you take the picture, cut off your face and cover up the tattoo by the waist.
So we are back.
Yes,
and
indeed.
so if you are just now tuning in, which I don't think that you are, but if you are, this is Love Sessions. I'm your girl, Akilah Trinae. We have Sugarfoot. I was supposed to Sugarfoot. Dontrell Detroit and Mr. Charles Handy over there. We had Dr. Siri from The Therapist, Vice Plans the Therapist, on earlier. He was on the line, so if you missed that, you have to go back to YouTube and check out that brief conversation. So shout out to him.
Shout out to Edna.
Shout out to Edna Sims, who
she keeps us in the loop.
Who set everything up for sure. Now we're going to switch gears just a tad. I was on Facebook, and one of actually my friends from Houston, she tagged me in this post by a young man named, I guess, who goes by the name Yada. And he is sharing, not Yada I mean, but he's sharing about why most men don't deserve women. I actually went through and started reading some of the comments, and it got very interesting. Our two young fathers didn't watch the film or didn't watch the clip. I really need them to listen in right now because I'm definitely trying to.
I didn't get it.
I want to start with your opinions since he is a man talking about men. So if we can go to that clip. Bear with us. It's about 4. Huh? The Yada? I tagged you.
Dang.
Yep.
Are you going to be able to play it? Oh, okay. So then, I
don't think the Facebook tagging seems like it's not working.
Well, no, it wasn't just a regular tag for her. I sent it to her in Messenger. You were able to see it? Oh, yeah. You're able to see it though, right? Okay. So I'll just give you kind of like
she always wants the right answer.
Oh, none of the men got it. Just the girl.
Sugarfoot, what was you like in school? You wanted all the right answers. Yes, I did my homework. I did the extra credit too, and I read the next chapter. You want me to answer?
Was you hard to date, Sugarfoot?
I did everything. I just would never shut up in class.
I can imagine.
I was just everybody wanted to talk to me, and I was always talking to everybody. But I would be like, "But I did my homework, yo." So like, chill out.
That was your response.
You said, "Am I hard to date?"
I feel like I'm really hard to date.
Why do you think I'm hard to date?
I don't know, man. You just so
agitated.
Whoa, that's such an
you can't describe
insult.
people by saying they are their name because that's rude in itself.
I think a lot of people.
You just seem like a tough cookie.
Jinx. You owe me another water or something.
See, that makes you hard to date. So I can't talk down.
I don't think I'm hard to date. I do not think I'm hard to date.
I don't think so.
I really don't. I don't.
You
think
like
I'm
basketball.
Hard to please.
You like sports. That seems like that's half the battle right
me
there.
And I'll treat you like a king. That's it. Simple.
But you are dating.
I am.
So
allegedly.
She's not that hard to date.
I don't
You
think
know what,
she's hard
Charles?
to date.
What?
I don't think she's
Not gonna go there with you. What?
I don't know. I didn't say anything.
She's too.
He said allegedly.
She's
throwing shade. You didn't hear it.
She's too kosher. Although you do set yourself up for that.
What?
You know what I'm saying? Well, before. Well, I don't know. Outside of here, you like you claim in here. Yeah,
I don't unclaim anything.
She don't like titles. She don't like titles.
I don't not like titles. I am patiently taking my time.
Put you in a situation and talk about your life.
I'm like, what is he talking about?
As if he knows it. Like, don't let him get you.
I am patiently taking my time with a very
Hold
patient,
on. You don't get to
situation.
say that. You didn't go to the game. Okay.
We are.
All right.
Okay.
You never went to the game. Okay. So we had. It was. Okay. She brought him to the game. All right.
He came here too.
Okay, I know that, but the situation when I talk to her here,
he's about to try to play me.
No.
And if you're listening, do not listen to him.
No. When it was here, it was
introduction was
it was
like,
my home. I asked, I'm like, is that your dude? I'm like, is that your dude? He was like, no, we just dating. And then when we was at the game, you was like, that's my dude.
You didn't give me the introduction as the home. That was a homie introduction,
right? He was in here twice, and I was like, and that was the thing. You was like,
I mean, do you see how complicated this is?
Right.
I thought it was a homie,
but you guys get the gist of the situation.
I don't.
We're in a sense. That's because I do. No, that's because I do feel like the definition these days about the definition these days about dating someone are different than what Look, I think they really are. Like people don't see just seeing somebody or going to the movies and seeing someone and doing all the things. You're still dating someone. You're seeing that person even though you're not in a relationship.
You haven't committed.
I'm dating him.
Right.
Playing the field.
I'm not playing the field. I'm only dating him, but I'm just taking my time.
And I told you to take your time. I was only confused because of the conversation we actually had on set. So then
sometimes it just makes it easier,
off
man.
of set,
that's my dude.
Oh, okay.
Because I'm only dating him. He's only dating me. That's my.
So you
no. I don't want to pressure you into nothing. If y'all still dating, you're still dating.
No, we are. But still, I'm just saying.
So you guys are in a nine.
Well. You guys can continue this conversation
he ain't gotta be
another
your
time. We're going to Yada.
That's my baby daddy.
Well, now that Sugarfoot's out the hot seat, we have to go to something, don't we?
No.
Don't we have something else we're supposed to be doing right now?
Come on.
No, definitely. Take us there.
How the tables have turned. The women have become the men, and the men have become the women. The women are the ones in the world providing, raising their children, paying all the bills. And the men are the ones sitting home, complaining and whining. And I tell brothers all the time, if you cannot afford to provide financially, spiritually, physically, and mentally for a woman, you don't deserve one. A man should be focused on providing for himself. A man should be focused on leading himself and guiding himself. But now we take on responsibilities of another person. Now we're stressed out because we can't provide her every need, and a man should. If you have a good woman, it's your job, your duty on this planet to provide her every need. But we have become the needy ones. We're suffering from so much depression because we don't understand how to be men. And when a man tells you, brother, you're slacking. You don't need that woman. Let her go. She's too good for you. No, man, you don't know what you're talking about. I want a woman to struggle with me. You want a woman to struggle with you? A man can do good or bad by himself. A woman can do good or bad by themselves. Who taught you that? A man that couldn't provide for his woman, so he wanted to struggle with him? And our women have been so conditioned. Ladies, don't take this the wrong way, but you have been conditioned by women that are truly weak, that were forced to be strong. Girl, don't. You go get you a job, girl. Don't depend on no man, because she tried to depend on a man left her. A weak man. My sisters, when you get a strong man, all you should do is lean back. When you have issues, the first thing your man gonna say is, baby, I got it. Baby, I got that. I'm a man. This is my responsibility. This is my job. If you are my woman. But these cowards that call themselves men because they can have children or get women pregnant because they can pee standing up, because they have penises, they really believe that they are men, but they are boys trapped in men's bodies. You don't become a man with age. You become a man with responsibility. You become a man with action. It's a difference. We must get in tune. We have to get in tune. Sisters are so lost. I don't need no man. Yada, I can do this by myself. Who taught you that? A weak and broken woman? Heartbroken? Don't depend on a man? That doesn't make no sense. We have to get in tune. We must rebuild the family structure, and the family structure is the first business. If you see a broken home, you'll see a broke person. If you see a broken home, you see struggling people. We must learn how to love ourselves first and learn how to provide for ourselves first. We have to get in tune. We hop in a relationship because we lonely. Now we settling. Men don't complain. Men don't whine. Men don't blame things on women. When did men start doing? That's what children do. That's what a little boy does. But she was with me too, Mom. Why do I have to get a whooping? She took it with me too. Why do I have to get in trouble by myself? That's what boys do. How can you say that you're a leader and then complain about being a leader? We have to get in tune, mind, body, and soul. This is true health. True health starts in the mind. And my sisters, find you men that can make you greater, and stop finding men that's breaking you down financially, mentally, and physically. Only thing that man left you with was a child. We have to get in tune. What's more powerful than you? What's more powerful than you? What's more amazing than you? Brothers, I'm telling you, you should not get into a relationship with a woman if you cannot provide for her every need. That will help you and save you. You trying to save money, but you got a woman that wants to go out. You trying to save money, but your woman wants to take a trip. These things cost. Having a woman costs money. Having a woman is a responsibility. Having a woman is a bill. Believe it or not. This is a fact, man. Y'all wondering why y'all out here struggling and complaining and not with the right woman. My woman always bitching. Why is she bitching? You must be doing something wrong. We have to get in tune. We have to get right and exact. You already know who it is, your brother, teacher, and God. Yada, yada, I mean.
Your brother, teacher, and God.
Yeah.
You just did all that cussing.
And why you said he wasn't
And
yada?
God.
I know my people. He said yada,
Yada
I mean.
No, I know he said yada I mean. I watched the video.
So why you say
but I'm
he's
saying
not?
that's not yada I mean. You know what I'm saying? No, you don't.
I don't.
I'm not even
I
gonna
thought
explain it.
that's his thing that he said. He's yada I mean. Yada I mean. Yada feel me?
Right. So
Yada I dig what I'm saying?
Yada responds to the video.
I dig. Yeah.
I think it was intense.
Hey, I mean, he's entitled to his opinion. I think some of the stuff he said was pretty legit. It was a great sermon for some of these young brothers that's lost in the streets, that's out here just don't know anything. I mean, me in particular, I don't, I know what's up. You know what I'm saying? I gotta
figure.
I'm saying, I mean, I'm not on that road where I'm like, I will say this. My wife, it was my girlfriend at one time, and we did struggle. Like, we had, at one point, we didn't have 2 pennies to rub together, and we was figuring it out along the way. And to me, that time
now, would you say
is special to me?
That
you know what I'm saying?
You met struggling? You was like,
we met in a situation where we met in a situation where we just liked each other. You know, it wasn't like
the economics was booming.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I had enough to.
Are you rich now?
I'm not rich.
Okay,
we're in a better place. But I'm saying, to me, financially, I would say at that moment where we were together in the beginning and early on in our relationship, we had enough to we were living within our means. You know what I'm saying? We were taken care of. You know, I had my place, she had her place, she had a roommate. You know what I'm saying? Like we just had.
But you aren't really about just being a sole provider either, right?
No, I am. No, here go the thing. Here go the thing. That was a my wife. Fortunately, you know, this is me personally. We were supposed to be talking about this video, but I'm saying in my personal situation, my wife is like my partner. You know what I'm saying? Like she's an independent person in just like a lot of aspects of her life. So she has a career. You get what I'm saying? So we're a lot of things I'm not just like the man, and I'm just like, hey, this is how it's gonna go. We're partners. You get what I'm saying? So,
but that's what I'm saying. You're not necessarily about I have to provide.
But that's what I'm trying to say is that this is my partner. But at the same time, here goes the thing: I have a wife and I have 2 kids. Now that burden, I'm the head of the household. You get what I'm saying? And you know, and my mother-in-law is with us. You know what I'm saying? At the end of the day, I'm the captain of that ship, and the ship. I can't allow that boat to sink. You get what I'm saying? So it's on me. You know, if I gotta get another job, whatever. Like I can't go to my wife and look at her in her eyes and be like, hey, I need, like, you know, I know the kids is hungry, and I know, you know, you ain't whatever, we got no money, but we gotta. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? Like, to me, it's, as a man, I just feel like at the end of the day, if she didn't make another dime or whoever, like, I got to make sure there's food on that table. I got to make sure the mortgage is paid. You know what I'm saying? That ultimately lands on my responsibilities as the head of that household, as the captain of that ship. You know what I'm saying? As the king of that castle. That's me. But like I said, fortunately, I have a woman who is career oriented, who, you know, graduated from college and all those things. So she's doing her thing. You know what I'm saying? She's actually at a work conference now. You know what I'm saying? But it's just like, shout out to my wife, Ariel. But yeah, so to say, yes, I am the captain of that ship. And also, I got somebody who's my co-captain, who's not just sitting there waiting, twiddling her thumbs or whatever, just waiting for food to show up on the table. You get what I'm saying? So it's just a balance. This is my situation, but as the guy in the video was talking about, I think that he's talking about situations where fellas are like not necessarily taking that mindset on. You know what I'm saying? I could think of a couple of fellas that I know that don't take that same mindset. They're just like, she need to, if the rent is $10, I need that $5 on the first. And if she don't run me that $5, I'm about to kick her out or something. You get what I'm saying? Like, I just think it's their mindset of like, this ain't a partnership. It's not a unity thing. It's more like, she need to come to the table with whatever she got, and I'm gonna come to the table. And I'm not saying that's wrong, but that's just not my situation. That's all I say.
Yes.
As we gradually come to you.
Right.
Yeah, we gotta change the seating arrangement.
I actually like it.
No, because y'all like
it too.
Yeah, well, because why they both? No, because y'all.
like her.
No, that's what I'm saying.
Right.
They both over here.
Look,
I don't like how they both cut their eyes at you like that.
Then
They
make
both
her talk.
simultaneously. What are y'all on the same?
Right.
She be sneaking off the set. Like, I know she was sitting right
Hey.
I vote we keep it this way. Okay, go ahead.
I'm fine with that.
Well, first off, I think some of what he was saying was true as far as the self-sufficient part. I think the self-sufficient part is good in any era. You know what I'm saying? I think if you're self-sufficient and you can take care of yourself and you're good for yourself all by yourself, that's good anytime, any era, any place. So it don't matter what's going on or how society is. If you good all by yourself, then you can provide yourself your own happiness. With that being said, I think he's a very traditional person living in a modern era. And he's adamant about it because it sounds good, but the only problem is, one, the majority of our women aren't traditional women living in a modern era. We're dealing with a bunch of modern women that are very, as he spoke about his wife, goal and career oriented. So even though they want that man, like a lot of time now that's clashing. You know what I'm saying? Because if the man that he is also wants, that same woman to be a certain type of submissive woman that may or may not work, may or may not want to work,
may not cook.
Yeah, I think he would want her definitely to cook. Like he seems pretty solidified in certain gender roles. Like, this is what it is. This is how it's going to be. This is how it always is. And I don't really think that's the case. The other thing is, in the Bible, it describes
in the what?
In the Bible.
I thought it was some different book.
In the Bible, somewhere in there, I think Proverbs somewhere. It broaches the subject of being cautious. It runs the parallel with a woman and a serpent together. Mm-hmm. And
you would.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember.
Anything he can find.
I would just say, if you're gonna say that, you might need to. You kind of need to know the
example of how women are like snakes.
He's been hurt before.
No,
he's been hurt.
Yeah, right.
No. My only, it's not even that deep. My only issue, the only reason I brought it up
against us.
Although Eve did get tricked by the snake and then convinced her husband to bite the apple in addition to her.
The only reason
she brought him down with her.
And this is the reason why Yada said, men, you need to stop complaining, because what is that? That's what little boys do. You need to stand up, be a man, and say.
Hold on.
So we shouldn't read. So we should skip that chapter.
Right. So the only reason I said it.
Okay.
The only reason I said it is because he made it seem like universally all women are worth every man's salt. And you'll hear it from, if you just talk to most men's mother, they don't feel that way. You know what I'm saying? A lot of men that certain women a lot of women that certain men come across, their mothers don't like. You know what I'm saying? Mm. If we're just talking on the premise of them being a woman and what that woman stands for.
Wait. I just want to make sure I'm following what you're saying. You're talking about the men and the women that they choose. Their mothers aren't liking the women that they have. So
we're talking about a good man. You know what I'm saying? So let's say you have a son.
You always throw
let's just say you have a son. You're going to be very critical of
which you will.
Who that. So every girl that he brings home.
And why?
Huh?
Why?
For different reasons.
But what is
the
like
reason
why
the reasons that you have
you didn't like how she said hi to
your son?
You didn't like how she put her bag down when she came in the house.
My baby don't deserve for you to do that.
He could be in love with this woman, and you may not see her fit. You know what I'm saying? And he may not see it at all.
Could I give you some game? And this is from my grandma, and she passed, but R.I.P. to my grandma Juanita. And I'm gonna just tell you this because this was like the greatest read, and it only took literally, 5-10 minutes. And my grandma, I came into the house, stopping by, say what's up to my grandma. I had a girl. And I was thinking I was doing it. I was fly. She was fly. And I'm like, brought her in the house. Like, yeah, this, I'm hanging out with this girl, whatever. My grandma sits down in her kitchen and they talk. I go do something with my grandfather for a little bit. And my grandma just puts it in perspective. And she like, look, everybody looks good when they're young. It ain't about trying to get somebody that looks good when they're young because you should look good when you're young. You know what I'm saying? You ain't lived a rough life. It's about, she was like, look, when you get older, it's about how you lived. It's about how that person lived. You get what I'm saying? She put it in perspective because I'm thinking I'm doing it big. I got this girl that's, I could walk down the street for her and people thinking I'm the man, right? Mm-hmm. But the thing is like my grandma she sat down and had a conversation with her and she realized she ain't about nothing. Well, she wasn't. You know what I'm saying?
Right. And we missed that.
And as a man, as a young man, I'm thinking, I missed that whole thing. But she kind of really was like, look, when you're looking for that partner in life, she could look good. That's a good quality, but that's not gonna sustain you. That ain't gonna sustain you.
And so I was only saying it in a global fashion. Like, it's not. Every woman is unique and special because she's a woman. She can bear a child. And she's to be respected for that. But if you had a son, every woman would not be worth your son. So to me, that was diminishing to the man in that regard. But
that would have to mean that my son is worth a plum nickel, you know what I mean? Because he may not be.
True indeed. So
hopefully.
If you read Beyond the Hurt, which is by Akilah Trinae,
never heard of it.
There is a character because I addressed that a little bit in a few of the characters, the son with the mother, which is very interesting. That dynamic of if the son is even worth a good woman coming into his life. Although I won't tell you if he is or if he isn't, but
so. The other thing about what he was saying, the other thing that was kind of weird about what he was saying is, to me, it's just overall it set women back. I've already called a woman a bill before, but not from the standpoint I think that he's saying it. You know what I'm saying? A woman is a responsibility, but he said it like
it's objectifying or something.
Like her only job is just to come in and be taken care of and to just be a bill. And I don't see a woman. I don't see a woman like that. Like it. To your point, I think you should see it from his eyes, from the standpoint, and well, you know what? I'm the man.
Yeah.
And I should be in the position to be able to do that, or I should want to do it.
If your son come to you and say he hungry, you can't be like, your mama needs to give you some food, right?
Right.
You get what I'm saying? You, as a man, you're going to be like,
you don't want to be in that position.
Damn, I got to make sure, my son is hungry. And that's the same thing I feel like. If my wife, whatever, she's in a position where she needs something from me, it would hurt me to be not in a position to give it, especially if it's a need. Okay, wants is different. A need.
I think that's a big picture. It's a big picture thing. Because if you think about it, two people are in a relationship. And it becomes sexual. The woman gets pregnant. You're not prepared, right? So you can say the same thing. If you're going to be in a sexual relationship, that's going to be a bill.
Well,
you know what I'm saying?
What if you
need to be prepared. You need to be prepared for what is to come with that situation. So if you're not ready,
providing you have the baby,
if you're not ready to be a parent, you probably shouldn't be playing house. If you're not, you get what I'm saying? It's the same idea as people aren't really thinking big picture. I think it's like, okay, I'm a man. I see a woman. She looks good. Probably want to just be able to have a good time. I don't really think that men are like, oh, let me make sure I got my money together because, like, I need to have at least $10,000 because she looks like she likes to go to, steak restaurants and blah, 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 blah. I don't even think that it goes that far. I literally think it's like, okay, if I'm a cash out type of dude, I'm a cash out. If that's what I do, get to know the lady. I like her. I want to spend more time with her. Okay. If I don't have a job and I don't have any money, I'm not going to be able to hang out with this woman because I don't have the means to do it. But long term, I'm not thinking about, I need to have X, Y, and Z in order to just go on a date with this woman.
So what do you think about him calling her a bill? He called a woman a bill. Is that
I
like
think his
degrading?
main thing, I didn't feel like it was degrading. I just felt like he was saying that at the end of the day, you need to be prepared for what is coming. Like you can't really go into the situation, not prepared for whatever may come up.
Now,
And
so
the
if a woman-
expectation isn't that I have to, in my opinion, that the man has to pay for everything. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? But
that's hedging bets too, though.
But that's what I'm saying. If a woman is a bill, or if you can't say a woman is a bill, then what is the man to the woman?
I'm having a man as a bill too.
Liability. But see, that's what I was about to say. To me, it's really weird because.
But you wouldn't go on vacation with no money, would you?
Okay, but that's my point. You just
can.
Well,
regardless
a woman
having
would.
somebody else
right. A woman would.
is a bill.
Okay, but if just think about what he said and then apply it to both sexes, the woman wouldn't. Most women aren't in position to be laying down spreading legs.
Okay, but he said men are women, and women are men, which means that the man is the bill in reality.
What do you
because that's what he was saying. In the sense that women are now in the position, in the role of being the man in the situation, which means that the man
she needs to take him out.
The woman is taking the man out. The woman is fronting the bill. The woman is paying for all of these things. So he's saying, hold up. Time out. That's not the way it's supposed to be. You're supposed to be the one
taking care of her.
But it's still applicable both ways.
Because guess what? She's taking care of you. You need to turn that around. You can't say what he was saying as an example. Oh, no, we can struggle together, blah, blah, which I'm not agreeing with him in that sense. I don't have a problem.
You don't like struggling with
a person. Nobody wants to struggle.
Nobody wants to struggle.
Nobody wants to struggle.
I don't agree with if my man is struggling.
If you wasn't there shooting with me,
maybe you better pick this up.
You wasn't shooting with me in the gym.
When you shooting with me in the gym, hey, you know who Durant go marry? It's the woman that was probably in the Curry married. It's the woman that was shooting with him when he was in the gym, when he didn't have no endorsements, when he was barely about to make it to the league.
Easier.
But that's how you know it's authentic.
But it's not authentic when the man, listen to what I'm about to say, when the man now has it, right? Mm-hmm. After a struggle, and then the woman that he's with is right there by his side, like, yeah, boo, I got you, boo. How can he ever know that that's authentic? It doesn't matter to him.
About a new woman.
She's there, yes.
Okay, yeah,
you
but
know
I'm saying, but if you
so why does it need to be authentic the other way around? You get what I'm saying? Because a woman.
I'm so confused. I'm trying to follow you.
Because a woman.
I'm lost.
I'm just giving you another perspective. A woman can say, you know what? He doesn't really have it together.
Okay.
I don't necessarily want to go through those obstacles, those steps in order for him to get it together. Some men will say, let me get it together, and then I'm going to come to you and approach you and make it work. So whether the man makes a decision or the woman makes a decision, it doesn't really matter. The decision is made. But if it's looked at the other way, if the man ain't got it and she says, I'm sorry, I have a standard here, you don't fit that standard, she's going to look down upon. But then the man, once he gets it all together, he got the 2017 championship NBA ring now.
MVP.
Warriors. You know what I'm saying? And now women are coming around. And he's going to believe that they're coming based on his newfound status and role, which may not necessarily be true.
Why wouldn't
but it's harder to figure out.
Who doesn't know who Kevin Durant
is? Not as authentic. Because you can't say the only way because you're rich now. Every girl that comes after Charles, that doesn't make sense though.
So you saying you wanted to be okay that you didn't want him before he got the ring. But then when he got the ring, it's like, okay, now you got it together.
No, I'm saying, no. Why would you say you got it together? He got it on his own. But the difference is, a man can make the decision to say,
like,
I want to get it together first. Oh, yeah. Because he made that decision. Women don't make the decision when the man gets it together. Essentially. Because a woman might feel like, okay, you're good. You know what I mean? You're good. And then the man is like, nah, because I want to have X, Y, and Z in a row before I do this. And you're like, but no, you're straight. Like, nah, because it's your level of comfort of whatever makes you satisfied.
There's a key word that we haven't said yet that we need to acknowledge, which is potential.
Okay,
and this what needs to be. This what needs to be said about this episode, which is called potential. Now you can, like you said, you were saying this earlier. Hedge your bets. There's certain people. Look, there's certain people. We could use a sports analogy because I'm gonna use Kevin Durant in this instance. Kevin Durant, Curry. There's certain athletes where they got the potential to be stars, superstars, at least in the NBA, make a great living, right? Be great providers. Now, there's women that's in college or that's doing sports with them or the AAU and the McDonald's and all that stuff, and they intermingle with each other and they create these bonds and stuff like that. But you got to realize, like, certain people are going to excel and they're going to be these stars, and everybody's going to end up where they end up. But everybody in life kind of starts off. My wife kind of hedged her bet on the possible potential. She saw what I was doing. She saw the different things I was into, and she saw the kind of person I was, and she hedged her bet that although I didn't have at all together in that moment, I was going towards that direction ultimately. And so,
right, but we had a conversation, Charles, years ago.
Careful now.
About, what do you mean careful? No, because we had a conversation about, specifically when we're talking about black women, you know what I mean, and then black men dating outside their race, but that there were a lot of black women that overlooked you in a sense of they weren't looking your way because of whatever your image was or how you were or whatever. Which
I think I'm a weird person personally.
You are.
Now. But you know, Dr. Seuss says you're weird matches with another person.
And then he goes to Dr. Seuss.
And he call it love. Your weird matches another person's weird.
Right, which is there's nothing wrong with it. You know what I'm saying? Because again, your wife saw whatever she saw in you, and you saw what you saw in her, and it works for you guys. But there were women who, even though you have the value that you may have, did not see you not as valueless, but that it wasn't what they wanted. You know what I mean? It wasn't what they were necessarily looking for. So there are times when, and we know it's happened to all of us, where you might not have had somebody in your view, and then somehow, some way, all of a sudden, they start shining. And it may not be a shine like a glow up or a shine because they got money now or a shine. It's just now you see them. Yeah. Right?
And
because
you see them
differently. You see them where we weren't being seen.
You know, and you see them differently. And I promise you, I see it on my timeline. I see it on Facebook. And women, like, once again, they hedge their bets. And they hedge their bets on a situation that didn't come into fruition, right? So there's certain times where you kind of
always liked you, man.
Yeah, well, there were certain times where
y'all be doing the same thing.
No, it's certain times where you think like, dang, this didn't pan out.
I can say that happens to me a lot in this weight loss journey. Nah, it's the most annoying.
I'm about to say stuff happens might happen that way.
Guys that I used to like, or whatever the case may have been, we interacted at some point, whatever the case is, and then all of a sudden, now down the line, they're like, I always thought you were. Did you nigga. Really?
I used to be
stuff started looking
like now you sliding in my DMs, but
you turned me down for
back
prom.
Then I was the bro.
Back then you didn't want me. Now how you all like?
No, but to correct the story, all that's fine if the guy comes back and gets the girl. You know what I'm saying? So if once Kevin Durant gets the ring, if he goes back and gets the girl that he said wait for, which if you watch A Football Life, Curtis Martin, which is running now, is what he did with his wife. You know what I'm saying? He said he always had great vision, which is ironic because he's running back. And so his wife, he went and told the girl, like, I like you, or whatever, but he was like, he didn't have his dad and his family when he was there, so he knew he was going to the pros. He didn't want to start a family or whatever and be traveling across the world. Right. So he said, I'm going to come back for you.
Yeah.
But how often does that happen? You get what I'm saying?
Right.
That's my point. What happens is
does it actually happen
they get it together,
grow up,
and now their sights aren't even on. It's the thing in reverse.
Right.
So
it's like she didn't have to wait.
No.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? But I'm saying, how often does a man struggle with a woman? They break up. He goes on, gets better. She's still living her same life. Not a struggle life in a sense, but she just ain't on this level, and he says, well, you know what? Let me go back to that woman that I love.
What?
No, it doesn't
More
happen.
times
It
than
doesn't
not.
happen.
In the movies.
It doesn't.
Yeah.
I'm about to say in the
Not
movies.
even in those anymore.
But more times than not,
No.
there's unless if that girl is still available. If there's one girl that he could readily identify, especially if he makes it. You know what I'm saying? Like if he really, really makes it.
Yeah.
And I'm not talking about. And here's the thing: a lot of times,
You're not talking about your Kanye Wests. You're not talking about your
that,
Kevin Hart.
or I'm not talking about the girl that thought she was that to him and she wasn't.
Well, how does she think that?
No, herself.
Even
Trust
even
me.
the ones that the guys will tell that to, like, I'm just not ready right now, or I'm gonna come back for you. It's very unlikely that once he's done growing and getting to where he needs to be, where he feels like he needs to be, he's not coming back for you.
Most of the time,
I wouldn't bet on
most
it.
of the time,
I wouldn't believe
and
it.
And most of the time, that is true if that woman hasn't grown either. And so, so this is why I said it's applicable in both ways. Where if the woman is taking, like as he alluded to, is now the man or whatever, and she's taking care of the woman that is the man, or whatever, how he put it, then she needs to be a stickler about her criteria herself and not open her legs to
That's true.
come down or whatever. Just as
I just appreciated the fact that because it's always on the woman. You know what I mean? Everybody's always talking about the woman. I just appreciated the fact.
What world do you live in?
Huh?
What world do you live in?
What do you mean? You're always talking about the woman. That's one world.
Because I'm defending the men. That's always been bad.
No, but what he did was he wasn't defending men. He was literally saying, hey, I'm a man. I'm about to tell y'all men, wake up, get it together, get off your butt, go get a job, go, you know what I mean?
See what's the real deal.
You said let's talk to his
Behind the
girlfriend?
Yeah, his wife.
Just, go get it. Stop making excuses and make it happen.
Can I
But a
just
lot of
circle
women
back
date down
on what
to
you
achieve.
what you were saying in our conversation? A part of it that I want to share was also at the time I would say me and my dating life before I was married, before I was with my wife, it was a situation where if I liked you, I would just show you me, like I would just be on you, kind of thing, right? Like I'd be like, I'm
thirsty.
Charles. No, I mean you could call it that's like a new word. You know what I'm saying? Like that's a hip thing that people say, but I'm just saying if I'm pursuing you, if I like you, then I'm gonna call you. I'm gonna text you. I'm gonna be on you.
Here you go, hedging your bets again.
Let me finish.
With thirsty and show me attention.
Yeah,
call you thirsty.
But that's exactly. So that's
you know
the thing. So that's what I'm.
No, he said he'd be on you. So I'm putting it into context.
I'm telling you, the typical woman hedging bets. If he fails, that thirsty dude. If he succeeds, I liked him. He used to be on.
But you know what? That goes right back to what he was saying in the sense that men being women and women being men, because women taking on this role as if
thirsty is a negative connotation.
No, it is.
It is.
And just to say, I was just saying that to say that some people, the whole point of what I'm trying to say is that some people can take. It takes a special person. Some people will say. They take it the negative. They'll say, this guy is being thirsty. This guy is too much, right? And then the thing is, why is he on me like that, right? But the thing is, you got to realize and be like, why not me? You know what I'm saying? It takes a certain level of confidence and a certain level of being able to be like, I'm the shit, right? And then the person that could kind of withstand that and be like, oh, I like him. He called me after we hit it off and he wants to see me. That's not being thirsty. We like each other. Me and my wife, we have not separated since the first night that we met on my birthday, November 18th. That was my 25th birthday. And we were on each other. She was on me. Like, I got a picture with her that night. You know what I'm saying? Like, we were on each other, right? And so, thirsty, whatever. Like, we're married 10 years later. You get what I'm saying? And so the thing is that she could have said, this motherfucker is thirsty and trying to be in my face and doing hecka much, and I'm cool, right?
But
or she could have said, we got some chemistry, we feeling each other, and let's see where this goes. You get what I'm saying?
But you gotta have
that inner kind of junction. Be like,
also other people interfering with what other people got going on.
Is that is happening now? Men who may genuinely be interested in a woman, right? They're contacting, they're calling, they're texting, or whatever, and the woman is like, oh, what's going on? Why is he calling me so much? Why is he texting me so much? And that comes from. I don't know exactly where it stems from,
but there's some insecurity factor in that too.
But not even just that, but just overall.
It does. It's a level of insecurity to be like, why is he calling me like that?
Both sides. Let's take your exact example from the thirsty part of it, right?
What she said.
Right.
My wife,
I said.
Why not? My wife never called me thirsty.
I was making a joke.
I'm just saying your example.
I was making a joke.
Your example,
He was
random
thirsty.
person. I'm saying your example, but random person, right? So, or guy gets at you and he's thirsty, right? And you're like, ooh, he's thirsty, right? Mm-hmm. And then your husband gets at you, which become your husband, that's your husband now, gets at you with the same.
He was thirsty too.
The competitive fervor,
His
but
thirst just worked.
But
you must have been supplying the water. Because damn it,
he went the arrowhead bottle.
He definitely didn't die of thirst.
It could be the same exact attention, but if it's not from who you want,
right? Exactly.
It's gonna come across.
It's a Chris Rock. It's a Chris Rock joke. Once again, he's like sexual harassment is only an ugly dude trying to get laid.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Meaning that. Hey, what's
right person.
Right. Exactly. So, look, this dude touching. Look, I'm touching her leg or something. Dude touching her leg now. If she don't like me touching her leg, she about to try to sue. Be like, hey, this sexual harassment. Right, dude. Stiff his arm, touch her leg. She be like, okay, we'll see you later. Yeah, all right. I see where you're going with this one.
So now back to the point. Back to the point with what she just talked about, where that comes from, and based on his statement. A lot of women nowadays wouldn't want to be married off. So where that comes, so where that comes from, where men are quote unquote being thirsty or being aggressive, is because women have something now that they didn't have back in the day, which were options. So now a woman has so many options. A woman has so many options.
Social media and all that too.
If you lay back as
we got what he said, broken situations.
If you lay back as a man, you won't get it. You won't get her. Now, if you think about
nowadays, you will
think about a woman's plight. No.
That's because a lot of men don't.
You have to show something. You have to show something. You can't just
show what interest.
Yeah, you have to show interest. You know what I'm saying? You have to lay back. You have to go about it in a charismatic way, but you have to show interest, right? So let's take a woman's plight. A lot of women out west like men from back east. Why? Because they come forward. You know what I'm saying? If they like you, they come forward and tell you straight up.
Right.
I like you. Ooh, this is what it is. Blah,
like,
blah, blah.
say something. I see you looking.
Blah, 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 blah.
Hollywood,
Hollywood.
I know you know this, but Hollywood dudes is gonna be chilling. They gonna wait for you to holler at them.
I didn't understand that.
I ain't got time.
Right now.
Like, what, you want me to holler at you? Nah, bro.
That's true. I've never dated a man from the West Coast.
So now a guy saying she wants me to come forward.
We not gonna start with you.
See, I said thirsty as a joke. You know what I'm saying? It was just a joke, and you took it all serious.
No, I just had to be clear. I just wanted to be clear.
Yes, I'm dating Charles.
I just wanted
very
to be clear.
much so. Okay.
I like, because the thing is that's a part of our pop culture right now. Is that it's you know. It's just like when Scrub came out. Everybody was a scrub. I don't care if you had a car. I don't care if you didn't live with your mama.
On the passenger side of his best friend's ride.
You know, but then there was. We don't forget about the response though. Pigeon. I don't want no pigeon. Them be the girls who gets no love from me.
I ain't trying to get in all that.
Yeah.
So look. So now based on what he said, let's flip the script based on what you said and take it from the women's standpoint. Men have always had plenty of options, right? We grow up hunting women, so we usually have 5 or 6 or whatever our game allows us. So then what does a woman tend to do? She tries her best to peacock. You know what I'm saying? They're competing with each other, trying to get our attention.
Would spread her wings?
I don't know.
Their feathers?
You know what I'm saying?
But the male peacocks are the ones that are the most noticeable.
Right, but I'm saying as a woman, a woman peacock, like my grandma told me, like, you didn't get her, she got you. She put herself in your vision, you know what I'm saying, enough time so that you noticed her, you know, so that you went and chose her.
I was just saying, with peacocks in the wild, it's reversed.
All right,
it is. But didn't I say this? Didn't I say this whole analogy was reversed?
Okay, go.
All right, so now it is the truth that the roles are reversed, but it's because the roles are reversed. Women are no longer at home being married off, so you have to go after them because somebody's always going after them. So if he goes after you, but I don't, then he's going to get you.
But I feel like women are going after men.
Tangy says hi.
Right. It's going in both cases and scenario. Women are going after men. because they don't have to.
So they're choosing up.
Huh?
You know what I'm saying?
Because before they had to be chosen. Now they have the option of choosing.
They're the ones sliding into 15 DMs.
Yeah, that's why the guys who try to holler,
right. So that's my issue with what he's saying. Because if you went and said, well, let a man be a man and do the X, Y, and Z, well then you're essentially saying a woman needs to be a woman and chill and be chosen. And the era that he's talking about no longer exists because a woman is not being married off. A woman is not chilling. A woman is going to get hers.
But I feel like
a woman can do both.
No, that's not what I was going to say.
Not what you going to say, but that's what the case is.
I feel like that's his whole point. That like everything, because it's 2017, as Charles likes to remind us all the time.
All the time.
I say that?
That it's okay all the time.
Oh, really?
That it's okay. You know what I mean? Like the changes and the differences is okay. Now I get it. Things are changing, but some stuff should be able to stay the same.
You should always be. Don't, like I said,
or
like being a gentleman.
Have a realm of what people can go back to and what people can stick to. Because I think, who said it? Was I listening to something or it was one of the comments that I was reading under his video, and somebody said, let's just go back to what the elders said and what the elders did. I understand that times are different, but honestly, if you notice what's happening, if we get so caught up in all this new, we get lost in the sauce, we get lost in translation, and then everything becomes jumbled and confused. And then now we're taking our lives on Facebook.
No, but that's the reason why, because you had women getting married off that would go sit in a circle and everybody be talking about their husband, and there's always a few women that got married off to some men that weren't happy, that wish they could be with somebody else.
Right. And I don't condone at all anybody being forced into a marriage situation just for the sake of tradition or anything like that, or being unhappy in that way, or feeling like they have to do this in order to be accepted by somebody in society. But I feel like there's still a space for those who want a man who is traditional in the sense of wanting to take care of women, because there are women who are traditional in the sense of wanting to be taken care of. Not that they will not do anything, and I don't think that's what he was saying, but that's the way I took it.
But a lot of those things
conflict. But if you're a man who doesn't want to take care of a woman, there's a woman out there who wants to take care of you.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? You have, as you said, options, right? You have the one that, you know what I mean? Like Van said, it was in him from the way he was taught. Right. I want to be able to take care of this woman. So it's going to be very difficult for him in a situation if he finds a woman who's like, I don't want you to do nothing for me. Because then his goal and all of that is going to, you get what I'm saying? Versus,
and it doesn't allow him to be a man.
Or a woman who's like, nah, you got to take care of all of my stuff. And you looking at her like,
well, because he did. I mean, he has his limits because
go out and work too.
But he has his limits because remember he was talking about he was comparing the woman that expects to find a guy that she's dating and expects him to pay the whole rent or whatever, right? And
and that's why I said that woman who's like, no, this is, you got to do this. But there's a woman who, as I think you guys kind of touched and agreed on,
we didn't touch.
Not him, Van. I'm saying in the sense of that you want to be able to do that.
Yeah,
and you want to be able to have a woman who appreciates that, who would, in the right time and in the right circumstance, do the exact same thing for you.
Well, yeah, I mean, to me, I was very stern.
The wherewithal to know that I'm still a man, but my woman got my back.
Well, yeah,
or she would do the same.
Yeah, right. And to me, the whole, honestly, like, I do feel the sentiment of when we got married, and even when we were like about to, when we were engaged, and it just got to a point where I'm like, look, we're putting our money together. I do feel the sentiment of, I feel like you're shacking up at that point when you are paying rent, splitting rent. You know what I'm saying? Like, if we're living under the same roof, like, we need to be putting more money together, which is a whole conversation we've had before. But the sentiment of that he was saying, oh, you shouldn't look at it as roommates. I do feel like as roommates. Like, are you shacking up? Whatever you want to call it. Because to me, if we're under the same roof, and on the first of the month, we're like, you got your half of the rent, I got my half of the rent. I'm just like, what are we doing? Or where are we going? What's the plan here? Because right now, I'm not saying I have to pay the whole thing, you have to pay the whole thing. We should be kind of putting our assets together. But it's just like, to me, it becomes a roommate scenario with somebody that you're in a relationship with. You know what I'm saying? And I just look at it differently. You know what I'm saying? It's just like, I would say, if you're in a relationship with somebody and you guys are coming together every month, y'all need to figure out the direction y'all going in. That's my experience, because one pot is my rule that I came up under, and having one pot, no matter one person working McDonald's and another person got 6 figures, you know what I'm saying, you still just put your money together and just use one pot, the one pot theory. That's what we use. But that's me.
Well, it's been a very educating night with Dr. Siri, and I wish he could have been in studio to be here a little longer, because I think when it comes to therapy, a lot more men could use it, and I know it's very taboo. I know a lot of people that think it's crazy, but then most of the women that I know that go say it's the best thing in the world. It's like having the best friend, and some of the women that I've known, I've seen grow since they've had or been able to go through therapy. So if Dr. Siri could ever come back in, that would be greatly appreciated, because I know we have tons and tons of questions for him. And to all the fathers out there, man, it's definitely a humbling sight to see all the men that I know taking care of their kids, especially if you are in the Pop Warner circuit and you just see all the men that are dedicated to their sons. And I have no clue whether it's because of sports, but I don't even care. You know what I'm saying? Like, I know kids where women have to lobby to get their kids back. So it's definitely your day. I appreciate it, and shout out to you, man. Happy Father's Day.
Happy Father's Day.
You got 2. I only got 1. You know what I'm saying? I'm still trying to sell that one. You know what I'm saying? But, mine's forever, and it's nothing like having one. So if you got a kid, man, love him forever, him or her, and appreciate it. And it's nothing like being a father. To my beautiful cast, Keela Trinae,
those poles, huh?
Sugarfoot,
The ones.
We'll hold them up.
Mr. Dance Hustle. We got Poetess in the back. This is for Father's Day, Daddy, Beyonce. Q, what's up? Yeah.